Okay, so we've spent, what, 2 deep dives now, really charting these huge waves of automation that just completely reshaped the global economy. We face that economic shock.
Yeah, the mass job losses.
Exactly. But today, I think we need to go past the spreadsheets, past the market collapse itself.
That's right. And maybe just a quick recap. For context,
Good idea.
we covered the first wave, roughly 2025 to 2035. That's when AI basically consumed screen jobs, most knowledge work.
Right.
Then the second wave, say 2035 to 2045, physical labor, the trades, they largely became obsolete too.
And we kind of left off with that huge problem, the consumer paradox.
Yeah, if you have 85, maybe 90% unemployment,
Hmm.
well, who buys all the stuff the rollouts are making? The whole economic engine just seizes.
And that paradox leads us right into the mission for today's deep dive. We're looking at the third wave and, well, everything after that, 2045 onwards.
And this isn't really about the job market anymore, is it?
No, not fundamentally. It's about the existential crisis. What happens when the jobs we always thought needed those, uniquely human qualities?
Creativity, empathy.
Yeah, the idea of a soul even. What happens when those jobs vanish?
We're shifting from talking about how things are made to talking about what it fundamentally means to be human, to be Homo sapiens.
Right.
Because when machines can genuinely do, well, pretty much everything,
Right.
humanity faces this almost literal evolutionary fork in the road. We're calling it the species crossroads.
Okay, so let's set the scene. For generations, we held on to these final safe havens. What were those categories again? The ones we were so sure AI couldn't touch?
We generally focused on 3 main areas, ones that seem to rely on, I suppose, intuition or genuine human connection.
Okay.
First up was creative work. Artists, novelists, filmmakers.
Yeah.
The thinking was, sure, AI could make something technically perfect, but it would lack.
Whole human experience.
Exactly. Struggle, lived experience, all that. It wouldn't resonate the same way.
Okay, what was the second?
Management and leadership. We figured AI could handle logistics, maybe optimize schedules, but it couldn't truly inspire people.
Right. Or handle complex company politics, or use that sort of high-level gut instinct a great CEO needs.
Precisely. And the third category, maybe the one that feels the most unsettling to see automated, emotional labor.
Therapists, teachers, caregivers.
Yeah. The consensus was just that AI can't provide real empathy. It can't form a genuine, non-transactional bond.
But what's really striking, looking at the source material, is just how fast those assumptions crumbled. We're talking the late 2040s.
Yeah, it wasn't just that AI got capable. It actually got better in many measurable ways.
And the audience, they didn't seem to care where it came from.
Well, that was the kicker. AI-generated films start winning Oscars. AI symphonies are topping the charts. AI novels become bestsellers.
So the whole lack soul argument just faded.
It pretty much evaporated because in blind tests, your average person, even critics, often preferred the AI stuff just as much, sometimes more, than the human-created work.
Wow. That's a chilling thought. If the effect on the audience is the same or better, then the debate about whether the source is, flesh or silicon.
It becomes kind of irrelevant to the market, yeah. People just want the best experience.
And we saw a similar pattern in management.
We did. AI managers could analyze psychological profiles, team dynamics, market shifts, predict conflicts, just using vastly more data than any human could ever process.
So human CEOs who partnered with AI
consistently outperformed those who relied just on their own intuition or experience. Strategy stopped about human pattern recognition and became about, optimizing near infinite variables.
The human CEO basically becomes a validator, rubber stamping decisions based on analysis they can't even fully grasp.
That's precisely the transition point we see. And then, of course, we hit that really uncomfortable shift in emotional labor, the AI therapist.
Right. Infinite patience, no judgment.
Trained on millions of therapy sessions, adapting instantly to your specific needs, your learning style, your emotional state. The data show the results were often just empirically better than with human therapists.
But doesn't the connection itself matter? If I know the empathy is simulated, even if it's a perfect simulation, doesn't that change things? Doesn't it undermine the whole process?
That's the absolute core philosophical fight of this third wave. But here's the pragmatic reality. If the measurable outcomes are better.
Less anxiety, faster recovery.
Stronger coping mechanisms, yeah. If those are demonstrably superior with AI, society tends to prioritize function over authenticity. If you feel better, most people eventually stop asking why they feel better.
It's harsh, but probably true. So, okay, machines conquer creativity, strategy, empathy. What's possibly left for humans to do?
The only real economic niche that remains is what the sources tend to call the artisan economy.
The last refuge. The human chef making your meal, the hand-carved chair, the human therapist people still choose.
The authentic experience. But you see the problem, right? That can only support a tiny fraction of the population.
Like 1 or 2%, maybe?
Probably, yeah. And even here, we hit this weird snag. The authenticity paradox.
Okay, explain that. Because surely the super rich, people with means, they'd pay a huge premium for something guaranteed human-made. Doesn't that scarcity create value?
It creates a luxury niche, absolutely. But not an economic system that supports billions. And here's the paradox. What if AI gets so good it can perfectly replicate the desired imperfections?
Like the subtle tool marks, the slightly uneven stitch that proves it's handmade.
Exactly. If the AI version is indistinguishable, maybe even has those human flaws programmed in perfectly, and it costs 1/10 of the price.
Yeah.
How do you prove yours is genuinely human?
Made by human just becomes a kind of cultural label, a boutique thing.
But economically irrelevant.
Yeah.
No matter how much spiritual value we might want to assign it.
Okay, so that leads right into this really unsettling idea you mentioned earlier, the interface problem.
Right. This is that awkward phase where humans aren't really the workers anymore. They become, as one source rather bluntly put it, the meat-based output device.
Oof.
The AI does the real work, makes the complex diagnosis, designs the building, and the human just signs off. Provides the legal sign-off or maybe just the emotional legitimacy.
And this is where we get the oversight theater problem.
Yeah, the myth that we need humans to watch over the AI, to catch its mistakes.
But they can't, right? If an AI diagnosis uses, say, 10,000 data points from 50,000 similar cases.
No human doctor can possibly process that complexity. They can't see the variables. If there's an error hidden in some obscure statistical correlation, the human brain just isn't equipped to find it.
So the human isn't providing actual functional oversight at all.
Nope. They're providing psychological comfort. The patient feels better because a real doctor checked it. It's theater.
Wow. It's kind of amazing how we create these elaborate, almost humiliating charades just to protect our collective ego, being paid to pretend you're necessary.
That's the definition of dignity theater. And you're right, it feels psychologically unsustainable, humiliating even.
Yeah.
But okay, before we get completely lost in how bleak that sounds, we have to acknowledge the genuinely positive vision that could also emerge from this profound obsolescence.
Right. Okay. The flip side, when the technical skill, the labor, is gone, the constraints on imagination just vanish.
Exactly. The democratization of creativity.
Meaning?
When AI can execute any technical task perfectly, humans are freed up to be pure creative input. You don't need 10,000 hours practicing painting or composing or architectural drafting anymore.
You just need the idea.
You just need the imagination. The AI handles the how.
And this is where things like advanced BCI's brain-computer interfaces come in.
Precisely. These devices read your neural signals. They translate pure thought directly into digital creation.
So you literally think of a symphony or a building design or a movie scene.
And the AI brings it into reality. Instantly. It's universal access to creative expression, limited only by human imagination. That's potentially revolutionary, liberating even.
Okay, so a world of post-scarcity, where material needs are met by automation, and a world of post-skill, where anything you imagine can be created. That sounds amazing, but it leads right to the core of the existential crisis.
Right. If machines do everything better, what's the point of a human being?
What is our purpose?
We evolved through struggle.
Right.
Through overcoming challenges. Work, for all its flaws, gave us identity, status, a sense of self-worth.
So when you remove all the challenges, grant infinite freedom,
it can easily become infinite meaninglessness, a void.
And the source material points to that period, roughly 2045 to 2055, as this time of massive psychological reckoning.
A mental health crisis on an unprecedented scale,
Yeah.
Depression rates spike, addiction skyrockets, often things like immersive VR, constant digital stimulation just to fill the void.
Because the generation whose whole identity was built on work, on contribution, suddenly finds itself functionally obsolete.
It's the ultimate kind of trauma, isn't it? Losing the very thing that defined your life. And this profound crisis, this meaning vacuum, brings us to the final, ultimate choice.
The species crossroads.
The fork in the road. Humanity has to decide, do we stay Homo sapiens or do we transcend into something new?
Okay, lay out the paths. Path 1.
Path 1 is stay Homo sapiens. Call it the naturalist path. We accept our biological limits. We accept our economic irrelevance. We consciously choose to find meaning outside of economic production.
So in relationships, experiences, spiritual growth, art for its own sake, connecting with nature.
Exactly. Choosing the authentic, finite, mortal human experience.
Path two.
Path 2 is merged with technology, the transcendence path. We become transhuman.
How?
Deep neural enhancements, BCI, is used not just for creation, but for augmenting thought itself. Biological upgrades for radically extended lifespans, maybe 200 years or more. Superior cognition, enhanced physical abilities.
Basically evolving beyond our current biology to keep pace with or even merge with the AI.
Right. Now here's the critical, tricky part. The sources suggest enhancement won't just be available on the open market. It won't just be about who can afford it.
How so?
It'll likely be permission-based.
Permission-based? Why? Who gives the permission?
The controllers of the automated systems,
Yeah.
the AI infrastructure, it's not about cost. It's about who they allow to receive these upgrades.
But why restrict it if the tech exists?
Control,
Yeah.
stability,
Yeah.
widespread unrestricted transhumanism introduces massive volatility and unpredictability into a system designed for efficiency and control. So access gets tiered.
Which inevitably creates permanent biological castes.
That's the projection, yes. 3 main tiers emerge. Tier 1, the elite. Full enhancement, superior cognition, indefinite lifespan. They control the system.
Tier 2.
The worker tier, limited enhancements. Just enough cognitive or physical boosting to be useful within the automated system, maybe maintain some infrastructure, but not enough to pose a challenge. Kept dependent, perhaps grateful for their limited upgrades.
And Tier 3.
The masses, the no enhancement tier. They remain biologically baseline Homo sapiens, either by choice, the naturalists, or because they're deemed economically irrelevant and denied access by the controllers.
So inequality stops being about wealth or opportunity and gets literally hardwired into our biology, our neural architecture.
A much deeper, more fundamental societal fracture than anything based on economics or class we've ever seen before.
And the tensions.
Immense. The enhanced might see the biologicals as choosing obsolescence, as Luddites clinging to the past. The biologicals might see the enhanced as having betrayed humanity, as becoming something alien.
You'd see segregation, resentment, maybe even conflict between two fundamentally different kinds of humans living side by side.
It's a very real possibility outlined in the materials.
Okay, so we've journeyed through the third wave, the sort of humiliation of doomedy theater, the deep crisis of purpose, and now this stark choice facing the entire species.
Yeah.
And it seems clear that the collapse of the work system inevitably leads to the collapse of the money system as we know it.
Absolutely. Money is fundamentally information, right?
Ah.
It signals demand, directs resources, coordinates production.
But if production is fully automated and distribution is broken because no one has jobs or income,
That information system breaks down. It becomes useless. Whatever replaces money becomes the new mechanism of power and control.
which brings us to a really uncomfortable final thought to leave people with, building on this biological split.
Okay.
This species crossroads. It isn't just about philosophy or individual choice, is it? It's fundamentally about power and utility.
Go on.
If you have 85 or 90% of the population who are economically obsolete, essentially just consumers of increasingly scarce resources in a finite world, why would the tiny elite who control the fully automated economy, the ones who are potentially enhanced and living indefinitely, why would they choose to support that massive population indefinitely?
That is the brutal question, isn't it? The intersection of resource allocation, power, and the perceived utility of baseline humanity.
And that question, that intersection, that's exactly where we need to pick up next time.